This week's episode is brought to you by Yasso Greek yogurt bars, and guess what, you guys? They just released a new flavor, and it's perfect when you're talking about celebrations. Ashley, what's the flavor?
Liz, the flavor is birthday cake, aka cake. I wasn't exactly sure how I'd feel about birthday cake because I'm a chocolate gal, okay?
Mm-hmm. Ashley Clifford is a chocolate gal.
Ashley Aslin, all right? She's got a new vibe here. Birthday cake, it is like one of those things where you take a bite of it and you cannot stop. Like, you can't rest until someone else tries it, you know?
Right.
Does that make sense, though? Like, you take a bite of something and you're like, wait, you have to try this. And then the other person's like, no, seriously. And you're like, I'm not dropping this sentence until you try this ice cream.
But then you don't want them to like it too much because then, like we said, you're going to have to write your name on the box in the freezer.
That is definitely one of the biggest issues. So Liz brought some to the wedding and there was 2 left in the freezer. She forgot them.
Who ate them?
Tell me why I didn't get one of them.
So when you're buying them on yasso.com, make sure
/shop.
Yeah, /shop. Make sure you buy, enough for everyone and a secret box for yourself.
100% secret box. That's a real thing. All right, guys. We'll continue to discuss our love for Yasso, but in the meantime, guys, why don't you go to your freezer, grab your favorite Yasso bar, sit down, and listen to the rest of the episode.
Oh, I love that. Here we go.
That's what I'm doing.
Wait, what do you mean it's over?
Hello? How can I help?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of Parties Over Podcast. Your co-hosts are here, Elizabeth Adley and Ashley Aslin. Oh, we did it at the same time.
Oh, that's funny. It is I, Ashley Aslin, Juicy Aslin.
She's rebranded.
Sorry. That's me. So we're here. I got married. Let's see. At this point, it'll be like 2 weeks ago. Week and a half ago?
Oh, it would be like a week ago.
Oh, a week ago? I don't know.
Yeah. She's like,
isn't this coming out the 14th? Okay, so 10 days ago.
So long ago. Just a washed up married couple.
Yep, just me, old married bag. Okay, so today Liz and I are going to just talk about, well, actually, the first half, Liz and I are going to talk about wedding stuff and what I would have maybe done differently and what I liked. And then the second half, Parker and I are going to give our thoughts on the day.
The second half,
we really enjoyed.
Parker and Ashley are going to share their vows again. Just kidding.
Parker? No, he's like, I would rather die. That's not happening.
That was a joke.
I'm so glad they're videotaped, though, so you can never deny that you love me. No, I forgot. Sorry, guys. He's here observing. But anyways, okay, so we're going to start off. I'm going to talk a little bit about the venue and like how I picked that. We're going to do like wedding prep and how I chose like some of my vendors and just talk a little bit about money, things like that. And then we'll go into a little bit more detailed like beauty prep and DIY decor stuff, like what it was worth it, what wasn't. Right, Liz? Sound good?
Sounds good. Let's start with the venue. How did you pick that?
Okay, so the venue, I feel like, so to start off completely, I would say before you do anything wedding-wise, come up with a like vibe you want for your wedding. So what you want to feel like, what you want other people to feel like, what's important to you, and then come up with like a rough, I mean, you should probably come up with a real budget. I came up with like a rough budget, and then I doubled it. I'm just kidding. Not really. But come up with like a rough budget and decide where you want your money to be spent. So I knew right away I did not want to spend a lot of money on my venue. I knew that I wanted to be able to spend my money on just like touches that people would really like, that would really make the event special, I thought. So that's what I decided to do. And I went to look at a few different venues and I just got an idea of like what prices were for venues. I didn't really know. And to be honest with you, they started off, or not started, what I was really looking at was like $13,000 just to rent the place. And that number was very overwhelming to me. Like I was just absolutely shocked and pretty much was like, no chance. I'm not even considering it. I then ended up finding my venue, which was significantly cheaper, and it was local to everyone. So I knew that a lot of my family members wouldn't have to drive a long way, which was really important to me. I wanted everyone to be able to come. So I ended up, and it looked like good enough was my thing. Like it was like I could dress it up. It wasn't like you walk in and you're like, oh wow, like you're getting married under the Eiffel Tower. It was just like, yeah, it's nice. What I would say is the thing with those $13,000 venues that I hadn't really considered is a lot of them you were able to bring in your own food and sometimes your own drinks. So that is a huge, huge, huge perk that I hadn't really considered.
Or also like food would be included where yours was like paying for the venue and then paying for the food.
I personally didn't come across anything that had like around that price that included food myself personally, but it is a few things to know is what your food, take that into consideration when you have your venue, because you might have like your dream venue and be like, oh my God, it's way out of my budget. Like 13,000 is way out of my budget, but you might be able to bring in your own food, which could end up saving you like between like $2,000 and $4,000 maybe, depending on like what you're doing for food. So that could save you a decent chunk of change, and it could be more of like the food you want if you get to bring in your own. So what I didn't consider is I had a very reasonably priced venue, but I didn't consider the fact that I had to use their caterers, which it bumped up my price a lot, and it made it so I wasn't like, oh my God, this is my dream meal.
It's crazy to hear how much food costs, honestly.
Food is very expensive. I mean, you're looking at, if you're doing a caterer, the low end, I'd say the low end for food would be $25 a person, and that certainly goes much higher.
It's crazy.
And that doesn't include tip or tax. So add a decent chunk of change to that. Just a heads up to you guys, because I had no idea. But if you bring in your own food, you could do something that has a food truck or something along those lines, which can be significantly cheaper, like $15 a person. So definitely something to consider when you're looking at your venue prices.
Here where I got married, very cheap venue, but I had to use their caterers and their food. I mean, and their alcohol.
And you weren't originally going to get married there. If I remember right, you were going to try to find somewhere else for the ceremony and have the reception there, but turns out that was a really awesome place to have the ceremony.
Yeah, so I tried to find a place to have like a separate ceremony just because I was not in love with the look of it. It was like in the corner. It was at a golf course. I was nervous about the fact of like walking down in a wedding dress at a golf course. Like it made me super uncomfortable. And I like really went back and forth. I ended up having another meeting with them. And that's when I had the idea that I would take the Rolls Royce, pull up. There was like a little opening. Like the ceremony space was kind of like engulfed by trees. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, and it had a little pathway enough to see the car pull up and you get out, but still that you're wondering, like, what's
she gonna look like? You can't see me like walking a mile away, like a mile, you know what I mean? It's
when you see people walk for like so long and you're like, oh, okay, can someone block her until she gets here?
No, it was like the perfect way for me to still be like a surprise, still like the very thing, had that like a dramatic effect, and made the ceremony that was originally like very plain, like kind of umphed it up a little. And then I did the roses in the ground, which like also made me feel like I kind of like elevated the ceremony.
Oh yeah, everybody that talked to me after the wedding said that they really liked the roses and just like the simple touches at the ceremony, like the arch with not like a crazy amount of flowers and things, but just nice touches.
Yeah, so that's how I picked my venue. And then once I think I like venue, photographer, videographer, I did like pretty back to back, but like venue was my number one. I figured that out first. And then photographer and videographer, I just reached out to pretty much like anyone that looked like roughly I liked their vibe, and just tried to get an idea on like price. Because if you haven't, been close with someone doing a wedding, you have no idea how much you're even looking to spend. So I just kind of like started price shopping, to be honest, at first, figuring out like what's the rough idea here. And then I ended up finding the best photographer ever, Emily Sawchuk. She is a gift from God.
I
She's
feel like she probably went home and was like, the maid of honor was so annoying because every time I was around her, I'm like, you're so amazing. Like, when I met her, I was like, I'm a huge fan of your work. And then later in the night, after I had a couple drinks, I went out and talked to, both videographers, both photographers, and I was like, I'm raving about you guys inside. I told everyone to hire you. You guys are amazing. And they were just like, okay, Liz, like.
No, they were. They were literally amazing. Like, she was so great. I hired her. Like, I chose her, and then I feel like I got her at the best time. It's like I found her just off of a Instagram search, and then she took off right after that. Like, she is now, everyone has realized how awesome she is.
And she's worth it. She's that good.
Oh, she's working with, like, a lot of, like, really awesome main people. So, no, huge fan. Emily Sawchuk, 1,000,000% best choice. One of the best choices I made for the wedding. And so I hired her, and then we did videographer. Yeah, so we went with someone that we went to Huston with, Fiddlehead Media, and he was so great. Also, I'll kind of get into this during, like, wedding prep stuff when I talk about that. They were both really great. I specifically, his name's Sam. He did such a great job with just, I had kind of mentioned to him that I didn't want to be held up a lot. Both Emily and Sam, I'll mention it, I guess, now. I did not want to spend my entire wedding taking photos and videos. Like, I was very, very anxious about it. I almost did a first look because I was like, I'm not missing my wedding for these. Like, I promise you I'm not doing it. I will say a cutoff date. I cannot do that. I'm cut off time.
They kept things on schedule, so it never felt like, if you guys were gone taking pictures, just you two, it never really felt like you were missing.
Right.
And when we had to wait and do, like, bridal party photos, like, it was so quick, and you didn't even have to think about taking pictures, and then it was just over.
Yeah.
And I know they got a million things.
I set a photo list with them. So I had a meeting. I'll get into wedding prep here. So I had a meeting with the photographer and videographer. I told my now mother-in-law and my mom, send me a photo list. Like, what are the pictures you need to have? And make sure you tell the people that are going to be a part of those pictures to hang back after the ceremony. I did the same thing. Like, we created a photo list. I worked with Emily, my photographer, and I said, hey, like, I have this much time. Like, can we bang these out in this much time? And then send me back. And I also prefaced it with saying, I do not need 1,000,000 photos of Parker and I posed. Like, I would much rather you get us laughing on the dance floor or get my grandmother crying at a speech. Like, I will only look at 1 to 5 photos for the rest of my life of Parker and I.
One posed photo, like, is going to be the one you print out, and then everything else is going to be, like, candids or...
And yeah, exactly. You do not look at, like, 1,000,000 of, like, those post photos. Like, even my engagement pictures.
No, you're going to, like, one the best, and that's going to be it.
That's going to be the one that you look at for 20 years, you know? Like, that's the one. So I said, I don't want to waste all my time with that. I, like, set the tone, and that, I think, really helped my wedding go smoothly, is having a vision for everything. Yeah. Like, having a vision of, I'll get into this again, but videographer, same thing. I kind of told him, like, hey, my vibe is I want to document. I want documenting the event more than the aesthetically pleasing shots. So if, like, you have to choose between a shot of the flower on the ground or my grandmother, I choose my grandmother. Mm-hmm. If you have to choose between putting, like, music over, you know, us laughing in the background of a getting ready thing or whatever, like, choose us laughing in the background. I would rather it be, like, home video, like, I mean, not, and I said to all these people, like, there's no pressure. I'm happy with anything, but if you want to know my vibe, that's my vibe.
You would rather him just have the camera on and, like, get it, and so you can just watch it. You would probably watch through the entire day.
I would, like, because I don't remember any of it.
It's like a 2-hour video.
DJ, That was complicated. Yeah, it was tough. That was Parker's one job at Parker Aslan. Yeah, but make a music list regardless. That way, no matter who your DJ is, you at least can have some sort of an idea. Okay, so I had a vision for my wedding. I really wanted it to be, my goal was, same thing with the ceremony. So my goal for the ceremony was I wanted everyone to feel like they knew us. I wanted them to leave there feeling like, you know, Parker's a pretty quiet guy, our relationship's pretty quiet, you know we've dated a long time, but you don't really know us. I wanted you to leave there being like, oh my God, like, this is what they're like. That was the goal, okay? Same thing with the whole reception. I wanted you to feel like you're part of the fam.
And everybody felt that way. Like, everybody was crying. Everybody was so attached to both sides because you guys have been together for so long. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to the wedding, I'm on the bride's side. Like, everyone was on everyone's side.
I did, now that you say that, I did notice that.
Like, you didn't have to have sides at the ceremony necessarily.
I did flip. So I did do my parents diagonal from me, where traditionally it would be on the groom's side. So my parents sat in line with Parker's groomsmen, and then reverse for his parents so they could watch us, like, talking and stuff.
I do wish Parker was here because I want to ask him if he was uncomfortable with me grilling him for the entire ceremony.
I think I asked him if he could see you. I don't think he could see you.
He was just looking right at
I think
you.
he just literally
blurred
blacked
the background.
out, yeah. Next, I want to talk about just, like, beauty prep. One thing that I would recommend is to take care of your health and your, like, anxieties, you know, a month before the wedding. Yeah, I don't know, because I had run my immune system literally to the ground by, like, just stress, and I had I don't know, let's say I'd stay up really late doing a DIY or a seating chart or just losing sleep. I'd skip the gym in the morning because I was like, I cannot go to the gym. I didn't sleep at all, like, whatever. And I, wore myself just out. Like, by the time wedding weekend came, you know when your immune system is so low that, like, your body just, like, the weirdest stuff happens. Like, I got these dry spots on my face that I'd never have. I got, like, I don't even know, like, random pains in my leg. Just, like, the weirdest stuff that it was, like, just very obvious.
Like, you didn't have a lot of time for you. For, like, when people are like, I'm going to lose all this weight and I'm going to do all this. And you're like, when are you supposed to do that?
Right, exactly. And it's, I wanted to correct myself here because I know I mentioned on last week's podcast or whatever, the last podcast, that I wish I would have, like, kept up with my health and, like, my fitness and stuff. So I would go into it very confident. I'm here to report it didn't matter.
I knew it wouldn't.
It did not matter. I felt fine. Like, I just had so much fun. I didn't even honestly care what I looked like. But, okay, so my prep that I would say I recommend is have your hair done a week before. Don't stray too far from the norm, because even, you know, it usually takes you a week to even like your haircut no matter what. Yeah. Like, even if you end up loving it in 2 weeks. So, hair done a week before. I had Parker get his hair done a week before as well. I got a spray tan. I got it on Thursday of the wedding. I do wish I would have got it done on Friday. I ended up doing my own nails because I'm terrified of acrylics. But do whatever you have to do to prep your nails a couple days in advance.
Don't leave anything till the last, like, even the day before. Like, do it a week before.
Yes. Like, you don't want to be running around.
You're going to be running around no matter what. Even if you think you have everything ready, it's not.
No, you'll have, if you save your nails to, like, the last minute, you will be running around with, like, a pinky missing. Yeah. Skincare, work on your skincare a couple weeks in advance. Just kind of take extra care of that. You'll appreciate just the way your makeup goes on, everything. But continue to, like, I know I said the gym routine didn't matter, but keep up with it just for even the health factor of it. Like, that part, you'll just, like, feel better. Same thing with Parker. I, like, had him get his hair done a week before. I did his eyebrows a few days before. And this is going to sound silly, but make sure they take care of their nose hairs. I had to tell Parker the day. He's going to be so embarrassed that I said this. But, like, I feel like that is something that did not even cross my mind, is to, like, have him do that. And I was like, oh, my God, make sure you do that. Yeah. Okay, last piece of beauty prep that I will tell you. Budget for your outfits, as in your bridal shower outfit, your bachelorette party outfits, your rehearsal dinner outfits, your getting ready outfits, etc. Nobody told me how much money you spent on accessories for the wedding.
But I don't think you would change your mind and say it wasn't worth it. Like,
it's 100% worth it.
Everything you wore, like, you love.
I focused a lot of my energy on my events prior to the wedding. Like, I spent more time on my planning my outfits for all those events, way more than I spent on my wedding dress, like planning my wedding dress.
Oh my God, you tried on like 3 wedding dresses and then we're like, yeah, it's the one.
And then the dresses, I ordered like 16 dresses for my second dress.
Yep. Yeah, I guess we didn't talk about when you went and got your wedding dress, but yeah, you literally tried on like probably 5 at most, and then we left.
Yeah.
And you bought it. It was just done.
I think it was still the right choice to only not try on a lot. I mean, because trying on too many, you think about too many.
The dress was perfect.
that's my wedding prep advice. Thoughts?
Pretty spot on to what I thought you would say.
Yeah? Get your wedding jewelry. Start to get that, 2 months in advance. Start to figure out, like, what you're going to wear. I ended up, I wanted, like, very simple jewelry, so I'll say a few things. One, I borrowed a bracelet from my grandmother because I just needed a simple gold bracelet, and, I thought it'd be nice to wear, like,
Something borrowed.
Wear something of hers. It would save me some money, have some meaning, and, all that. Next, my grandmother had asked me, so I have one of my grandmother, she had asked me what she could get me for the wedding. I don't know, like, I have a lot of grandparents, like, some of my other grandparents, they are, like, crafters. So I have a lot of things that I get to keep that are, like, from them. So I have, quilts. My grandfather is a woodworker, so I have a lot of, like, things he's done. But my other grandmother, she just, some grandparents have a lot of things that you can, like, have as keepsakes from them. Yeah. But this grandmother, I just happened to not have too many. So I suggested she got me a necklace I could wear for the wedding, and I could wear...
From Jess Clark.
Yes, Jess Clark, who was on the podcast. It's her line that she has. So I suggested it's just a, like, simple cross necklace. And I can wear it every day. It'll be special, like, in my wedding. And I'll, like, always have that. So I figured, if she's going to spend the money on me anyway, I'd rather her spend her money on that than get me a Nespresso. And I'll leave that to someone else to get me the Nespresso. She did also get me the Nespresso.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. Okay. So wedding jewelry definitely was a big one.
Oh, the earrings were so good.
I loved the earrings. I'm glad I went with those.
Oh, I hope there's a good photo of them.
So now, just decor prep and what I did for that. I wanted a lot of personal touches. A lot of... Yeah, I just said at the same time. I started off brainstorming and just figuring out, like, I don't know. I took some quiet time to come up with, like, some different ideas, First one, I'll say, like, all the unique little ideas I had for the wedding, regardless if they were DIY or not. So the, first one being, like, the Rolls Royce. So I come out of the Rolls Royce in that I then wanted to have the roses lining the ceremony stuff. Then what else? Ceremony-wise, I wanted our best friend Luke to marry us.
You wanted people to... You didn't put people in a specific order. This is not decorations, but you just kind of had people walk in with, like, their boyfriend or girlfriend or...
Yeah, I didn't put people in order. We had a couple, not couples. We had one couples. First of all, we had an uneven bridal party number. We also had a few couples, like, we had the boyfriend on one side, the girlfriend on the other. So we really wanted to try and make them walk together if we could, like, figure it out. So we didn't have anything, like, height-wise, relationship-wise, other than Liz was standing the closest to me. And we did our own vows. Other than that, that was about it for, like, unique ceremony things. Well, I mentioned flowers. So do you guys want to know how flippin' expensive flowers are? I'm disgusted. I mean, good for you. Get your coin. I get it. It's expensive. It takes a lot of work to do flowers. No shade to the florists. Do whatever you got to do. But I just couldn't do it.
Think about, like, someone that has a full arch of flowers at their wedding. Now you must be...
so you are a millionaire. Yeah. You are rich. Because I'll give you guys the number here, okay? I was looking to do bridal bouquets for the bridal party. So 6 bouquets and my bouquet. And it was $700. That's it. Okay?
Just for those.
Just for those.
You didn't do it.
I did all fake flowers for my centerpieces. I did not do that. Because I'm a DIY queen. And I said, I'm a cheapskate, I'm like, gotta save a buck where I can save a buck. Do you know how many outfits I could buy for $700?
That's exactly what I would compare it to.
No, thank you. I could have 15 different looks for all these events. That's a no from me.
And people said good things about the flowers. So
flowers were
big hit.
Awesome.
Big hit.
And you know what sucks is they look way better today than they did at the wedding, but whatever.
They looked great. Perfect color.
So I ordered from 50flowers.com And I decided, I'm like, I wanted a simple vibe anyway, so I'm going to do all rose bouquets. Really, I was just trying to like do DIY it. 'Cause, like flowers, there were certain things I was not willing to spend my money on. Flowers, I'm like, that bouquet is gone in a second. Like, you hold that bouquet to go down the aisle, and that is literally it. Like, you are paying $700 to walk down the aisle and gone. See you later.
You didn't even take it on the way out.
No.
Because I was like, hello, Ashley, hello.
Wish I would have.
She just runs away. I'm like, my mom's like, you didn't give her her flowers.
We should have gone over that at the rehearsal because I did not realize. Didn't do that. Same thing with the veil. I made my own veil because I was like, same thing. That's 15 minutes. I'm like, it's a no for me. I am.
The veil
not
that
doing
you
that.
made was way better than the one that you were even.
I wish that it was wider.
I thought it looked pretty good.
It just was like a little stick behind my head. But, you know, I could have done it. It would have been fine. I could have DIY'd it if I had just known what the back of my head looked like.
It will look the exact same in photo.
Yeah, the thing is in the photos I spread it out. So it was fine. Yeah, it was fine. That one doesn't keep me up at night. I saved $170. Okay, signage. Made all my own signage. I would say Liz made our sign, but I have a hack for that. I'm going to say in a minute.
Good hack.
I would say prep your signage early because I had a huge spelling mistake in one of my things, my remembrance table, that nobody caught because we did it so last minute. I had like several people
You
look
wouldn't
at
have
it.
had time to print it again.
Yeah, none of us caught it. Like that looked at it.
So that's one thing that you can do really early for your wedding.
Yes,
Is like,
because it's always going to be the same. Yeah, I would say signage is definitely something you can prep. Like there's certain things you can't, like seating charts, whatever, but like a remembrance table you can prep ahead of time. A guest book signage you can prep ahead of time. All that stuff you can do ahead of time. I also did DIY invites, which I should know. So poster board hack. This is my hack for you all. So we had one of those welcome poster signs. Liz designed it. So Liz made the big, it's like an 18 by 24 sign, had it printed at Staples. She made the same one for my bridal shower.
I got it on a foam board.
And she had it printed on a foam board for probably $50, $60.
No.
I was going to pay $50 or $60.
That's insane for a foam board.
Yes, I said I'm not paying $50. I literally was like, I'm not doing it. And I also waited till the last minute, so I also had to pay for shipping. So it was going to be $70 for that board that, like, not me, but, like, I made myself, again, Liz, but you know what I mean? Like, that I didn't have a professional doing it. Mm-hmm. So I printed it off at Staples on regular poster. Like, I had a matte poster get printed.
I would have known this before because I messed up when I ordered it the first time, and I just ordered a poster. And it came in, I was like, why is it rolled up? It's foam. And then I ordered it again.
So, yeah, and I just glued it on poster board, foam poster board, and it looked just the same. It worked out great. So that's my little hack for you guys. Another little hack was I put all of my signage, I printed, like, my guest book, I just printed it on regular paper and just put it in a frame. So I didn't have to pay for, like, foam board stuff or whatever. Part of that was also because I was just lazy and I didn't plan things out well.
I had a lot of stuff to do.
Next, I did a DIY seating chart.
Amazing.
It was really
People
good.
really liked that.
Yeah. Like, I've never heard anyone talk about a seating chart.
No, not really.
At a wedding, like, you know, as often. So that was really cool. And I thought it was a fun way to, like, people could look at, like, who was at the wedding and, like, see different things. So what I did is I had this giant wood board and I photoshopped pictures of people, like every single person that was coming to our wedding. I took their picture from like Facebook or something and I made it look like it was an Polaroid. And what I did is when I photoshopped them, I just had them printed, like I scaled them so they would fit on a 4x6. I didn't make them the size of a 4x6, but I like made it, I don't know, like a third of the size of a 4x6. And then I printed them all on 4x6 regular, like sent it to Walgreens to get printed, and then I just cut them. So it was really inexpensive. It was like $5 because it was like 24 photos getting printed because I did couples and stuff. It looked good. And families. And then we just stapled them onto the board. I then ordered a neon sign for decor that said the Aslins, and it was 1,000% not worth it at all.
I think if your table would have been against a wall that was right behind it, you would have liked it, but it didn't really have a place to go.
No, it did not have a place. I ordered it just because it was the first piece of decor I ordered.
Yeah. It was like a long time ago when they were just
really
coming
big,
in. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's going to be so unique. And then everyone did them. and whatever. It's like, it really was not worth it. I think we paid, whatever, I'll tell you guys, I don't care. Paid $300 for that neon sign.
So you guys have to have like a bar or something in your house so you can put it up.
That's the thing. It'll be cool, like, potentially someday for something.
Yeah, you're always going to be the Aslands.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was not worth it. But, you know, it might be worth it someday.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's not like your table numbers and stuff, like you're not going to use that again, but you can use this again, so.
Yeah. And I don't know, I was really like excited to have the last name, like to be the Aslands. Like that's such a, you know, that's like a really cool thing to get to be known as. Or you know what I mean? Like,
you and him.
Like a little family thing, like the Aslands. It's just like the two of you, and like that, I was like really proud to have it like displayed rather than like bride and groom or whatever. I loved like that aspect of that. Like when I did my table numbers, I put the Aslands. I just thought that was like cooler than bride and groom.
Yeah, because you can't use a bride thing again.
Yes, that's also a big tip for you guys is when you're planning, let's say if you're planning a bachelorette party or your own stuff, there's a time and a place to have stuff that says bride because you can only use it once, you know, enjoy it, whatever. Like someone got me a hat that said bride and it was like cute for a photo and stuff because, you know, that's like you want to show it off. You don't want to be like too cool to be a bride or whatever. But
now you can't wear the hat.
You can't wear the hat, and you now have nothing that you can like have from that time period because it's super weird to wear something that says bride or bridesmaid or anything like that. But for my friend, so my friend just got, or whatever, we just had her bachelorette party, and I did little bucket hats for them, like all of us, like matching bucket hats, and I had the option. So she had a white one, we had pink ones, and I had them embroidered. So I could have either done bride on hers, like I think that's what a lot of people probably would have done is like bride and then like bride tribe or whatever. But instead what I did is I did hers saying her new name, which is Mrs. Miller, and she will always be Mrs. Miller. Yeah. She can wear that hat anywhere and it's not weird. Like it's a bucket hat, so it's kind of silly anyway. Like Mrs. Miller's not like, it's not like she's trying to be serious in a bucket hat, you know, like It's fine. And then ours did their hashtag, like their wedding hashtag, which you can wear again.
Yeah, and you guys can bring that to the wedding weekend too.
Right, like that'll go on. So that's definitely a good tip is just be wary of the bride and groom and bridesmaid stuff because you can't do anything with it after. So then my family did charcuterie boards. And this was another idea that I presented to my dad, being like just a nutcase. I'm like, hey dad, I want each table to have a charcuterie board that is made out of wood from like my land that I'm building my house on or like grandpa's land or something like that. I need you to plane the boards, make them into wood, and then make 25 charcuterie boards. And then we need to like build charcuterie boards. And that was like our appetizers. And my dad was like, excuse me? But okay.
But that was something that everybody talked about. Like every single person was like,
and like people fought over them.
People were stealing people.
People were stealing them.
Crazy.
So what we did is at the wedding, I had these little tags. I don't even want to talk about it. They had QR codes on them that you were supposed to like scan and watch us make them. And the code expired probably like 3 days before the wedding. Like actually,
but
probably
you're not going to
3 days
activate it
before
again
the wedding.
While you're like
at the wedding. I didn't know until after I got an email because so much activity was going on it, like people trying to see it. I was so that's actually one of the worst parts about the wedding. I'm so sad about it. But I had these little tags that had these QR codes saying like this board was made with a lot of love, and you'd scan it and there's a video of us like making it, like my entire family like sanding it, doing all these things. And then on the back it said, here's how you can take this board home tonight. Whoever has the closest birthday to, and there was different dates. So there was my birthday, so it'd say like the bride's birthday, the groom's birthday, their dating anniversary, engagement anniversary, and then the date of the wedding. Mm-hmm. So I had them sprinkled throughout like different tags. So like each table had a different tag, and that way it was like fair. Obviously, I didn't want anyone, like everyone who had an August, September birthday to be the only people that could win.
You're like Leo's only.
Right, like I'm like that does not feel fair. So they could take the board home if they like wanted or whatever, and that way it was like fair. I have a competitive family. I didn't want to do any like trivia.
It was competitive. Yes. I didn't know people were gonna get so like worked up about it.
It was. I had people definitely steal them. Like people were like, someone left it unattended and they just took it. So my dad is selling them now, everyone, though, if anyone wants a charcuterie.
They're amazing. He should sell them.
Yeah, he's going to sell them because he had a lot of people ask if they could buy them.
That was a big prep element, though.
That was a big.
You know, we had to put the stuff.
Well, because you can't pre-make a charcuterie board like a week in
It
advance.
needed to be set out right
It
before
has
the
to be like
ceremony.
fresh. Yeah.
So, I don't know who came up with the system of the giant, your brother, the big Ziploc bags, and everything was portioned out, so everything that was going to go on the board, but there were a lot of items. It wasn't like, oh, there was cheese and some meat. It was like everything. So we had a good system going with about 10 people working on it.
But I did not do that DIY to save money. Let me start off with that.
Cheese is not
because
cheap.
I could have gone, 3 beautiful appetizers for the, cocktail hour, whatever, from the venue, and had done no work, and I would have spent significantly less money. Instead, we had blood, sweat, tears, and cash money invested in those boards, okay? That was strictly a DIY for wow effect.
I think everything that we had to work on, it was fun. Like, it was fun to work with everybody, and like
It was like,
made you more attached to it.
oh my God, Friday when everyone arrived at the exact same time, like everyone from out of town arrived at 3:00, and rehearsal was at 5.
It was
And
crazy.
at 3:00, everyone pulled in the driveway, and we were like, cut the cheese.
Cut the cheese.
And we're literally like, hi, it's nice to see you. Get cutting. We are out of time. Cut
Oh,
the
I
cheese
know.
right now.
Whoever
Prep
was
pepperoni.
there, we had a job.
Oh my God, it was wildly hectic.
And we decided we were gonna switch houses, and we were gonna.
And then, oh my God, that's not good. So, okay, I'll talk about that in 2 minutes. Then we did a dessert bar. I just was like, man,
Okay.
I don't want to spend the money on cake.
The dessert was gone before we had dinner. Like half.
Oh, people were going
Because it was
for
your
it.
mom's whoopie pies, right, and cookies. Yeah. Everyone was eating them as their like appetizer for the dinner, and then when it was dessert time, there was nothing left.
Well, they forgot to put out some of our desserts. We had more desserts, so there was dessert throughout the whole night, but they forgot.
But when
to
you
put out
guys were
some
cutting the
extras.
cake, there was like nothing in the
Nothing
background.
left.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, so we ended up doing a dessert bar just because like I didn't even eat any really. I think I had one cookie. Parker and I are dessert people, we wanted a variety. We just really wanted to do that. So we did cookies that my mom like made all the cookies. She like pre-made the dough and froze it. So she just had to like cook the cookies first. And then she made trifle cakes. Trifle cakes like my favorite dessert. So we did little mini trifle cakes. So she like baked the cakes and like did the pudding and stuff. And we prepped those the day of the wedding.
Tammy was the real MVP. I have to say.
That woman, she must have aged like 10
I
years.
kept
from this
saying
wedding.
to her like,
Her
okay,
and my
we're all
dad,
done.
honestly.
Like, you need to relax for a second. She said, no, I'm not relaxing. I have this other, and she would like go right into the next thing. I don't know how she was keeping track of everything. Like, she did
I don't
not
know.
stop. And I'd be like, okay,
She-
you need to enjoy this moment too.
She was literally like, I mean, I can't believe I literally made my dad start a full-blown business for the wedding, and then my mom pretty much opened up a bakery.
I know that they would do it all again. Like, they enjoyed doing it, I could tell. And
it was
they
good
were
bonding
awesome.
for us.
Yeah, they were.
Like, it was nice. Like, we would spend our weekends at camp. Like, we'd literally, like, because there was no weekends off for this. Like, my mom would be like, okay, we'll go to camp this weekend, but you have to bring the flowers. So my mom would, like, bring all the fake flowers, and we would, like, just go to camp and just do, like, fake, like, make the bouquets then. So, yeah, we did a dessert bar. We weren't going to do a cake, but my mom surprised us with a cake. So she like brought a cake, and then our friend Ty, who's like a secret freaking baker, cake
whatever
decorator,
this is,
man.
I don't know this.
Ty decorated the
I
cake.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it looked like
Oh
professional.
my God.
He did such a good job, and he was so mad at us we didn't tell him we didn't have a cake.
When did he do that?
With my mom. My mom snuck. She found out that he was a cake
Oh
decorator,
my
and she
God.
snuck
Now,
him
like,
inside,
I don't
and
even
they
remember what it
decorated the
looked
cake
like.
together.
I gotta go find a photo.
It was really cute. No, he did such a good job. Let's see. And then last DIY I did was wine glasses for the tables.
Love that.
I wanted it that you like walked in, and I wanted it to look like it was like an antique shop.
Yeah, they were
You
like
know?
scattered everywhere.
Yeah. So I collected wine glasses for like a year, and the best part about it that I did not realize was going to happen is we had so many like just people from like all over, like, like out of the woodworks be like, hi, I saw you were looking for these glasses. Like, I want you to have them. And we had just like so many special people just get to be part of the wedding that we didn't even expect to happen. Like, we had this family friend. This is one of the nicest things anyone has ever done for us. We had one of these like family friends we grew up with forever, And I show up to my house one day. I just like come home and there's this box on my doorstep, and there's a note in it, and it says like, hey Ashley, like these were the glasses we bought when we moved into our, like my husband moved into his first place on his own, and they were like these beautiful colored like wine glasses, and they were like, we want you to have them for your wedding. And it was stuff like that just like people were like, hey, I was at a yard sale, I saw these and like bought them for you. And it was such a nice touch. I did not expect to have at the wedding, but I'm so glad I did.
It spiced up the tables a lot.
Yes.
So it was like a big decoration piece.
And like the people that like contributed, they could recognize their glasses. And like, I don't know, my grandfather had the same thing with like with candle holders. So, like, people would give me candle holders. So, I had, like, my great-grandmother's candle holders on the table. My grandfather used to make candle holders. I had those on the tables. Just, like, all this stuff. We did not do an open bar. Maybe I'll talk to I'll have Parker talk on this. But
There's no issue with that.
I think it was okay. Open bars are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
I think one of the funniest moments of the day, I don't know why I went up to the bar. We had just taken tequila shots. Like, we came into the reception as a wedding party, took tequila shots. I don't know what I was on for the day, but, like, I was just like, we need to do shots. I don't know. I was all revved up. So we were doing tequila shots the whole wedding party, which I think was a really special moment, just us. And then, you know, we go in, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get a drink. And I go up to the bar, and I was like, oh, what kind of tequila do you have? She's like, none.
A terrifying moment for me.
I was like, what? Is there going to be more? She's like, yeah, I think they're going to get more. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right back then. And I go over to Ashley. You were like in the middle of the conversation. I said, I got to tell you something.
I was swearing up a storm.
Like,
my aunt is there.
Shut the F up. And your dad's like, Ashley, what's going on?
Stop swearing. I'm like, I can't swear. Like, I cannot have no tequila. Tequila's the only thing I will drink.
And he was like, it's not a big deal. And we were like,
I got enough tequila at the house next door to feed the whole party. Like, I'll go get it. But
it was like a funny moment. Everybody was like, what is going on? Like, it was just funny.
I'm not kidding. I would have rather fallen. I'm not like a flippin' need to drink kind of gal, but
like you want tequila.
I need tequila at my wedding. Like, I would have rather fallen down the aisle.
Switched to vodka for this special evening.
I couldn't even drink vodka. I wish though that they didn't have tequila, because I could have done with one less margarita.
I could have done with some less.
Yeah, so that's my tip to you all. I would have done with if I'm being totally honest, I could have done without 2 margaritas.
Okay, but everybody was on the same.
Oh yeah, no one was out
page.
Of control. No one was sober. Everyone was we were all messy.
Which made it very interesting.
Like, nobody even knows who was there. Everyone, I think, is like,
the videos I've seen, I'm like, there? Did I even go to this? Like, I'm not seeing myself in the videos, and then I see me in the back, I'm like, oh, I was there for that song.
I mean, I remember, okay, disclaimer everyone, I don't remember the whole day. Like, this isn't an alcohol-induced situation.
Oh, it was so quick.
The whole day I blacked out. It doesn't even feel like I was there. So also, hire a videographer. If you have to get married in a shoebox by yourself, still videotape it.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather have had no wedding and a videographer.
Oh, for sure.
Than
I think
no videographer.
So, like, from my perspective of the whole day, like, some of the best parts were right before photo and video got there, and we were, like, done getting ready, but still in our PJs. And they walked in, and you were on, like, the karaoke machine, and we were just all, like, around Ashley, and Sam, the videographer, comes in, and he's just like, all right, I guess I'll start filming.
We also were literally, like, Liz and I know, like, we, we do content stuff a lot, so, like, we kind of looked at each other, and we're like, this is weird, because, like, we don't know them. Like, it's like, hi, nice to meet you.
Could you please get this?
You know?
And I knew.
So we both looked at each other and we're like, I should keep going, right? Because I can see them filming it. And I'm like, I feel like they're going to want me to keep doing it.
And we knew, like, this one line was coming up in the song.
Oh, and I think they missed it.
I think they might have missed it, too. But I was like, they better get this.
I know. Liz and I, we looked, we were like, oh, look. We wanted them to see. But whatever.
And when it was fun recording the TikTok that we had literally 30 seconds to record. And it was like, everybody do it. Go.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends was like, how many more TikToks are there? And I'm like, there was no time.
I would get ready earlier and look like poop if I could have had more time to just hang out.
Yeah.
I would do my own hair and makeup again. No shade to the hair and makeup people.
I would say my recommendation would be have your pick your bridesmaids on people who
can do
other people's hair and makeup.
I honestly think I could have done everyone's. I think I could have. I did mine in
I think it would have stressed
20
you out,
minutes. I think I could have done it. But anyways, I would say if you have any sort of ability to do hair and makeup as a bride or even a bridesmaid, do it yourself because you want to feel like yourself.
Yeah, and it's a money saver.
I just, like, some of it, they did awesome. Like, this is not any, like, shade to them. They did great.
I felt like one of the best I've ever looked in my life, honestly.
No, they did great. I just felt like there were certain things I told her, like, when my makeup artist, I was like, can I just do my own eyebrows? Like, there's a specific way I, like to do them. Certain things, because I knew I would want to feel like myself.
Yeah.
So, that would be my tip. Like, they did great. Honestly, they really, really, really did. I want to make that abundantly clear. But I knew going into it, I do hair and makeup for every person. I did my own hair. And so I am so happy I did my own hair. But I'm still happy I did my makeup because I, like, just gave her a heads up and, like, told her, like, there's certain things. Like, I'll do my own lips and my eyebrows. But, like, I was at least able to, like, have makeup that stayed on for the whole day.
Yeah, I felt the same. Like, at the end of the night, I was like, oh, this still looks good. I know I couldn't have done that for myself.
Right. Other than that,
I would say I had I was so stressed for the entire day about my speech.
Oh, I feel bad.
And, like, why was I stressed, you know? And
even you knew everyone there.
But it was just, like...
She made
a lot of pressure.
She made Parker cry, guys.
Yeah, as soon as Parker and Ashley were both crying, I'm like, all right, it must have been okay. And then I was watching a video back and people were laughing. I'm like, okay, good, because I'm not like a sappy person, so I was trying to make it funny, but then I was worried it wasn't funny.
It was funny.
It ended up being okay.
It was funny. Yeah, so Parker and I also, on that subject, Parker didn't do a best man, and like the person that probably would have in theory been like a best man would have been the guy that married us, who gave a big like speech before, so he couldn't really give a second speech.
And it was so good.
It was so good.
So I was kind of like, I'm actually glad you're doing this hours before me.
It was so good. It was, yeah. Anyways, ceremony was the best part. That's my favorite part of the whole wedding. I would do it a million times over. I'll talk more about that later, but Liz?
That's the only time that I would ever say at a wedding that the ceremony was the best. Like, it's usually just kind of like, yep, that's the ceremony, let's move on. Like,
I mean, you might be biased because you know the people very well.
No, but like, it's never that personal. Like, even if you didn't know them, you knew them.
Yeah.
There.
I set a goal for the ceremony. That was a big, big goal. I wanted everyone to feel like they knew us. And I wanted people to cry. And
I looked around and everyone was crying.
Yeah. I think a lot of people did, which was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so awesome.
It was nice. No, the ceremony was my absolute favorite flipping part. Can't even tell you. I would do that part a million times over. That was so, I don't know. That's like a high you'll never feel again in your life.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I am loved. I love this.
Yeah, that is nice.
Anyways, guys, I'll do the second half with Parker. Liz, really quick, what was your favorite part of the weekend? And then what was your favorite part of the actual wedding day?
My favorite part of the wedding day was when I played fruit salad at the reception.
I don't even know where I was for that.
At least there's a video. That wasn't my favorite part. It was definitely listening to Parker's vows, which I'm sure they'll talk about in the second half. But yeah, he really, I wouldn't say surprised me, but like, he's not a man of a lot of words, and to hear him say that stuff about your friend is like very nice to hear. So that's when everybody really started crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say, like, I saw Ashley for like an hour in a total of 4 days.
We were like, we can't wait to spend quality time together. I'm like, hey, what'd you do this weekend?
No, we like don't hang out when we go to...
No. Every time we go do something, and I like chase her around. Liz, the issue with her being maid of honor.
When I'm there is I'm working.
Liz is like, I'm on the clock. Get away from me pretty much the whole time.
I was on the clock the whole time that I was there.
I pretty much like will drag her, and I will like grab her by the hand, and I'm like, can you stop and hang out with me? And she's like, I got too much to do. I can't hang out with you. I'm like, no, you don't have anything to do because this is what I want to do right now is hang out with you. And I'll like, I will literally grab her by the hand and like, I'll drag her to a separate area of like wherever we are. And I'm like, don't move.
I know
just
why
stand
I
next
was
to me
exhausted
for 5
when
minutes.
I got home. Yeah.
No, I literally like at one point we were getting ready and she's just like cleaning, running around, doing things. I think I just grabbed him like, can you just stand in this room with me? Don't move. Just stand in the room.
It was hard.
Don't leave the room.
I'm not gonna watch other people do work and then me not.
Whatever. You know, I'm thankful for it, but it was freaking annoying.
Yeah. Okay. But, I did like that actually that you didn't have a head table, and because I don't think I would have been able to see a lot of people.
Yeah. I thought so too.
Yeah. But we were like right next to each other, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm never gonna see her again. But it was nice to catch up with people too.
Also, I asked someone about a wedding. Okay, hold on. So I asked someone to like tell me about a wedding they went to, and they had said that no one, like, they didn't clink the glasses enough at a wedding to get people to kiss. So at my wedding, like, someone made sure that people clinked the glasses, and I gotta say, sweet touch.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was cheesy.
Some weddings, it's too much.
Yeah, I only had it like twice.
If you couldn't carry a conversation with anyone because everyone kept clinking them, you'd be like, okay.
I think I could have done it like 4 times.
Yeah.
In the total of the time. But like even those 2 times, it was like very cute. Like I actually really thought it was like
so cute.
very sweet.
That's like a cute little
because we would like look at each other and be like, oh, dang it.
Now it's time for a word about our sponsor. And when we get back, Parker will be here and I'll be gone.
And I will have eaten them all.
Speaking of celebrations, our sponsor this week, Yasso, just released a brand new flavor. It's birthday cake, you guys.
This one was shockingly good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have had birthday cake before. I don't know, it's a very sweet, rich flavor. This one was the best birthday cake flavor I've ever had. Like, I've had, like, you know, thick, creamy ice cream places.
Yeah. This
is a light Greek yogurt bar and has the best flavor. And I mean that, like, genuinely. Parker also, he tried it, and he is not, like, a big, I don't know, he's, like, a chocolate guy. Like, chocolate, peanut butter, whatever. He had the birthday cake, and he's obsessed with them. I have to hide them.
It was such a nice surprise to have there's, like, bits of cake in it. I don't know how.
It was so good.
And it was, like, I had it first, and I'm like, wait till you get to the bits. And then Kyle was like, what is this? And then we were like, should we have another one?
It was really good. They were really good. And, like, it didn't make me feel, like, heavy. Even though, you know, sometimes you think like birthday cake's like a heavy flavor. I don't know. It was like much more lighter than expected, but still gave you the same like feeling of it.
That's the best part, I think, of Yasso.
Yeah.
Is the low calories and like high protein. So I'm always like, oh, this is good. Like after a workout or like you get rid of that sweet craving, but you don't feel bad about it.
And okay, so speaking of that, so Yasso is celebrating their 10th anniversary with their creamy Greek yogurt products. Each product, Liz just mentioned, has protein in it, has between 4 to 7 grams of protein to be specific per serving, and they're only 60 to 170 calories. The other thing is I am very sensitive to alcohol sweeteners in general. I'm like very sensitive. My stomach does not do well with them. These have low calorie, low sugar. The sugars in them just do not hurt my stomach at all. And I have to mention the creaminess of these bars is unmatched for any other form of yogurt, frozen yogurt ice cream.
Oh yeah. Any flavor.
Anything.
Any flavor.
Creamier than ice cream. And like for anyone that knows me, knows I eat one every single day. Actually, I can read you my group chat right now, my family's group chat. I just sent them a picture of a new blanket I got, okay? I'm not even joking. This has nothing to do with an ice cream bar. All I did is I'm just trying to tell my family, hey guys, I got this cute new blanket. Tell me why they write on it. I give it 2 days before it's stained to the Yasso bar. Okay? This has nothing. I'm just trying to
some wedding gift. Some wedding gift.
I'm getting roasted for no reason. And then my mom writes, I believe there will be a Yasso bar on it. My brother's girlfriend writes, wow, why does curling up with a Yasso bar and that blanket sound like a dream? Mind you, all started
Are they writing this ad?
They have no idea we're doing this right now. And I just sent a picture of a blanket. I don't even know how this happened.
But at least the birthday cake flavor is not chocolate and won't stain it like too crazy.
True. Good point.
So if you guys want to buy some Yasso bars, I know you can buy them in the grocery store, but you can also head to their website, yasso.com/shop, and you can try all of the flavors. And we recommend all of the flavors. But make sure you get that birthday cake, though. Once you guys try them, make sure you are tagging us in your stories. Do a little testimonial. Let us know what you think. Tag Yasso, tag Parties Over Podcast. Think about us when you're eating your birthday cake, Greek yogurt bar from Yasso. Okay, now back to the episode. Here's Parker and Ashley.
All right, guys, I have the specialist of special guests, Mr. Aslan here. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, everybody.
As we've discussed this whole episode, we got married about when you guys are listening, 10 days ago, September 4th. And I just went over with Liz, like beauty prep, DIY stuff, and venues, just a little bit like that. But I wanted to have Parker come on and talk about what we kind of run through what the day looked like for us and the parts that we really enjoyed, maybe things we would have done different, and just kind of an overall recap, maybe for our own benefits to look back on and reminiscing. So Parker, okay, so let's start off with like the timeline of the wedding weekend. So what we ended up doing is we rented 2 houses. We rented one that was on it was technically a pond. I was gonna say lake, but it was on a pond. And we invited our entire bridal party. They could stay. So we got married Labor Day weekend. So they could stay Thursday through Monday. And it wasn't like we were like, this is part of like your bridal party duties. It was just like, hey, if you're bored during Labor Day weekend, you want to hang out at the lake, you can. So we did that. And we had like some of our friends stay with us Thursday night all together. And then Friday night, we split off and had like Parker went and slept at a different place and I slept somewhere else. So it worked out really good. But yeah, so Thursday we ended up leaving for our wedding weekend. So we packed up the whole house, got all our stuff ready, and we went and had one night of just kind of hanging out and getting into like the wedding mood kind of thing. Did you like leaving Thursday, or did you like wish we had more time to like prep?
Yeah, I definitely think it was good to leave a couple days early. It just gives you time to ease into it instead of going down the night of the rehearsal dinner and rushing into everything.
It's because it just gave us like, I don't know, that was some of my favorite parts, is having a few minutes of calming down. And like our wedding was so hectic the whole weekend that Thursday we just, I don't even know, hung out. Oh, I think we like played card games with our friends and like drank by the lake, and it was just fun. And then Friday is when the chaos began. So we had pretty much what we did is the guys went off and they did some prep stuff. So we rented a 15-passenger van, and that was our plan, just to like have all weekend to transport people back and forth, because the house we rented on the lake was like, 15 minutes?
15 minutes,
yeah, from the venue. And then we also rented a second house, which was directly across from the venue. So the guys went and we should note Thursday we like went and got groceries and stuff. I would say I wish we had a place that was closer for groceries, but it was fine.
No, I think it was fine. We had enough food for the weekend. Honestly, nobody cares what you eat at your wedding.
Yeah.
So they just want to have fun, and
we did a lot of like bagels and things that because it was just people were on their own timelines that we needed like food that people could make leisurely, like when they were ready to eat. So anyways, Friday the guys split up. They went and picked up the van and did a little bit of hanging out. I think you guys went to Seacoast Fun Park. Did you?
Yeah, race some go-karts.
I didn't know if we ended up going. And the girls we had like a few minutes where we just hung out by the lake. A few of them went and got spray tans if they hadn't already, did that kind of like beauty prep. And then pretty much we packed up the house, got ready to head over to the rehearsal dinner. And from there, we actually decided to swap houses, which created a lot of chaos. And Parker was not very impressed with me, I don't think.
Well, all of us guys took all of our clothes and brought it to the house we were supposed to stay at.
Because the guys were going to stay at the house across from the venue.
Which is where the rehearsal dinner was. And then the girls decided they wanted that house. So they took all of our clothes back to the other house. So we were stuck with what we were wearing all day, no sweatshirt.
Guys, I'm really sorry if you can hear all of the noises. Parker and I live in a legit shoebox, and we can't help it. So I'm so sorry. We don't have a separate room to record in. We also do literally live in a shoebox. It was so great for the first 2 years. Now Parker, we just got rid of our dining room table because we don't even have room for a table anymore. Okay, so 3 o'clock, all of our bridal party rolls in, and literally maybe it was like 2 o'clock, and we literally are like rushing to get to that other house and swap. Disclaimer, the reason we swapped is because it made a lot of sense. There was there was more room, and the girls had to get hair and makeup done, and
It's
there was
still up for debate.
Okay, I think it was worth it. Don't tell them. Okay, so we rented a van.
Well, originally we had rented it for after the after party to bring all the people that were intoxicated home.
And it was like, what, 15-passenger van?
Yeah. But it only ended up being, a handful of people that ended up needing a ride home. So I don't know that we necessarily needed a big giant van. But throughout the whole weekend in general, I definitely think it was worth it. Just because, like, even on the way to the wedding for the guys, we had, I don't know, probably 8 people. We had my whole bridal party plus a few extras that we brought from the other house to the wedding. So it worked out to have it for the multiple days.
I think it was so worth it. Yeah, I guess 15 may have been overkill, but I think it was so worth it to have a van. We rented 2 houses, like I think we had mentioned, and one of them was 15 minutes from the venue on a lake, and then we had another house that was directly across the street, which is where we had our brunch the morning after the wedding and our rehearsal dinner the night before, which made it just like, that was like our hub, the one across the street. So we kind of needed some form of transportation to get people back and forth easily, and it was a lot easier for us to find one driver than it was to find, let's say, 4 drivers for 4 different cars. I have some notes here we also had, after we were done doing whatever we could to prep for the next day, we headed over to set up the decoration. So we only had literally like 1 hour to set up the whole reception hall place or whatever. And we had probably 25 people in there helping us set up.
At least.
And we walked in, everyone got to work quick. It was pure chaos. Like, we had to get it done in like, I don't even know, 40 minutes. And everyone just got to work and we cranked it out. But I don't know, I think it was fun. It was like chaos, but it was good memories, I think.
It was definitely chaotic when you have that many people all trying to put together your tables, but you want them in a specific manner.
I think it did help me, though, let go of some of the control freakness of, like, I normally, I think, would have been literally like placing each thing exactly how I wanted it. We didn't have time, so I'm like, chuck them on, like, just do it. But yeah, okay. And then we had the rehearsal, the actual rehearsal part. So we did have I'm saying mutual best friend, okay, of like 10 years. He was who married us. And so he put that together. Like, we did the ceremony. They did such a great job. One thing we didn't know that we were going to need, that thankfully they got married before us, so they were able to help us. But we did need a person. So, like, we didn't have an event, like a day of coordinator. I mean, no one helped us with the wedding at all. Not like family, but I mean, like, we didn't have any like wedding planner, event coordinator, day of person, nothing like that. And I don't think it was necessary. Like, we did fine without it. However, what we didn't consider is someone to have the people walk, like tell them like, okay, go, as their like bridal parties walking down the aisle. And I think it could have been very messy without that. So thankfully, the person who married us, their wife, they had, like I said, got married before. So she took that job and like made everyone. And I think that helped a lot.
Yeah, it definitely helped because whether you need somebody to help you plan your wedding or not, I don't know. But just on the day of,
Yeah, Parker does not know.
Having somebody just keep everybody on schedule is so important.
Just someone that like can be a like second thought for you, you know?
Somebody that's not wrapped up in the whole wedding fiasco. They're just, they're focused on keeping everybody together and, moving forward.
Yeah. I do wish I have like a few notes and stuff here. So then okay, I'll finish out what we did after that and maybe like the notes after. We then went back to the house, which was right across the street, and Parker's parents had gotten a food truck to come and do the rehearsal dinner. So we had a food truck, had everyone there, and finished off the night with some karaoke, which was a common theme for us for the whole entire wedding, which we kind of suspected because we love karaoke. But I think that was great. I do have a few thoughts of like what I would maybe do different. The first one for me would be like figuring out a way for our bridal parties to like spend more time together, whether that would have been like renting one big giant house and just have everyone stay at like a giant house together and not have to split up into groups. I think that was something we were really missing, is like a way for our bridal parties to just, talk to each other, because it was hard because we hadn't seen a lot of, like, we had Parker's people are a lot of his college friends, and or like the people he went to his bachelor party with, obviously. So they all just hadn't seen each other and they wanted to like talk with one another a lot. You know what I mean? Like you want to just talk with your people a lot. And then same thing with mine. It was a lot of people that hadn't seen each other in a while for like my bridal party. So we all just wanted to catch up with each other. But I think it would have been nice to have, kind of swap and get to like have our bridal parties hang out together.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't really do that without having, the two parties mixing on wedding day. There was really only one day that everybody was there together, which was Friday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Feel like if we had one house though, like everyone could have, I don't know, just something to consider. We did two separate houses, and I think one house would have made for some really like cool memories. Another tip was don't get drunk the night before the wedding. Just a little friendly reminder, you will hate yourself if you do.
Not that either one of us did.
No, I didn't. I just really was adamant on not getting drunk the day before. I did like that it was a small, intimate group for the rehearsal dinner. Honestly, we probably could have even gone smaller. And I just think that's the only real time you get with your bridal party. Like, you think you're going to be with your bridal party the entire weekend. And you're like, I'm going to spend so much quality time with all these people. You're so flipping busy. You don't even get to, like, get really good quality time with them. So the rehearsal dinner is really what that's for. And even I say that, actually, I liked having it because we invited our grandparents and our immediate family, so aunts and uncles. And I think it was nice because at the wedding, we didn't get to spend that much time with those people. Also, big, giant, humongous number one tip, maybe do not take my advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing you anything. Do your own research. Take a sleeping pill before your wedding night, because I didn't sleep 1 ounce. That's not even an exaggeration. I slept probably half an hour the entire night.
I slept like a rock.
I don't know how. Like, and it wasn't even like I wasn't sleeping, just like tossing and turning. It was literally like my heart was like boom, 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 boom. I'm like gonna throw up. I'm gonna puke, and that was all night. It was an anxiety attack all night. It was awful. So you slept. What did you do after the rehearsal dinner?
After the rehearsal dinner, we just went back, and I think we pretty much just went to bed after that.
Yeah.
It wasn't too late. Just got a good night's sleep.
And then we woke up in the morning, and Parker, we did apparently break a rule. Apparently I wasn't supposed to call him. I did call you.
I don't remember that one bit.
I did. I called you for something. I don't remember what. My thing Saturday morning, I do again wish I had a slow morning. I wish I had like gone and done yoga or a walk, like I said, or just had like a few minutes just to be alone. Maybe honestly, what I would have really loved to do is either like read a letter from Parker, or like I had made you a slideshow. I'm so mad at myself. I'll show you it later. I made you this whole slideshow here. I'll show you right now really quick. This whole slideshow that I was going to send to you on the wedding morning, so you could, I wanted you to really get in the, emotions and the feels, and I completely spaced it. But yeah, I wish I had done something to kind of get in my feels before, to just kind of register what was happening. I'm sure my morning looked very different. Like my morning looked very different than yours. I wish I had done that. I didn't. What we ended up doing is all the girls just kind of hung out. And what I had done is I wrote letters to my grandparents, and I stuck them in their mailbox before we left and told them to open the morning of the wedding. I then wrote letters to my entire bridal party, and I got them a little charm bracelet, like they're called Italian charm bracelets. and I made everyone's different and stuff. So I had everyone open those, and then I like texted my grandparents and my parents. I wrote my parents and Parker's parents a letter too, and I texted everyone to remind them to like open their letters. Really, I wanted to set the tone for the wedding. I wanted to get all the feels out before. But yeah, I wish maybe we had done something like that to kind of get in our feels. But I loved doing the letters. I feel like it really set the tone for the day. And the day gets so hectic. You kind of think you're going to have like all these special intimate moments with like your mom, or, you know, your like dance with your dad or walking down the aisle. You kind of think in your mind like you're going to have all these like, I don't know, you probably thought that, right? Like you'd have like your dance with your mom, you probably thought it would be like a really, not to say it wasn't a really special moment or something. And that just goes by so fast too. You don't necessarily say the things you want to say. So I feel like the letters really help take the pressure off of like making it so I had to have special moments.
Yeah, I definitely think they all loved it.
Yeah.
Every one of them was appreciative that you sent them something special and were thinking of them.
I think so, but we'll see. Feelings of writing vows. Parker was very hesitant. We like went back and forth with whether or not we were going to do a first look or not. We were very stressed about not wanting to have like waste any time with the photographer. Like it was a very we like had multiple calls with her being like, we do not want to spend a lot of time on this. Like take 5 photos of us. I don't care. Posed photos. And ultimately, Parker was hesitant for like 1 second about not wanting to miss the moment of me being down the aisle. That was enough for me to be like, we're not doing a first look. If you are even slightly hesitant, I'm like, that's all I need. Because, you know, for those of you that don't know Parker, I kind of thought he'd be like an excuse to not say my vows and like, you know, be in private. I'm in. Sold.
I would rather put my head under a school bus than have to profess my love to Ashley in front of 150 people. But I honestly think it was well worth it to just suck it up and do it for 2 minutes to have that moment, you know, for the rest of your life. It's literally like the last thing I ever would want to do. I have a hard time doing it when we're sitting here by ourselves, much less in front of all those people. But I think it was well worth it to do it.
It's just something that like I would recommend it to anyone. Like, okay, well, so how do you feel about the moment of me like coming out of the car? Do you feel like that was worth it? Or do you think we could have done a first look and still had the same emotion with reading the vows?
I definitely don't think a first look. The only reason a first look would really be worth it is to just save time on the photos. But if you do it the way we did and, you know, set the standard and just make sure it's done efficiently, I don't think you really need to do a first look.
Yeah, I agree. I think we did it. So we did 1 hour worth of photos and it was awesome. But okay, so what were your what did you expect with my dress? Did you think that's what it would be? What were your thoughts? My look in general? Did you see it coming? I thought for sure he would be able to, like, it was exactly what I had pictured for myself. So I thought he would know for sure. That's what I would look like.
It's not exactly what I expected, but it was obviously great.
What did you
I don't
think?
know. I had pictured more of like a mesh type dress, but it was
Fluffy or flowy?
a little bit, nothing crazy, but obviously that's not what it was. It was more of a solid pattern and
Very like classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that you see it, does it make a lot more sense?
yeah, definitely.
So vows, I agree. Vows, our ceremony was so exactly 100% what I wanted. Like I wanted it to be very personable. I said my goal was I wanted everyone to leave there feeling like they knew us. Like Parker's a quiet guy. Like I feel like the people from the outside, like even, you know, not our immediate family, but like some of our extended family, like they don't really know like what our deal is. They just know like, oh, they've been together forever. Like, do they really like each other? Or they just like been in it for a while, you know? My goal was everyone to leave there being like very invested and just feeling like, oh, I get it now. Like, this is it, you know? I said, you know, a lot. So part of that was asking, like we had mentioned, like our mutual best friend to marry us. And he knows us better than honestly, like collectively, I would say he knows each of us as individuals and a couple better than probably anyone. Like obviously Liz knows me better than anyone, but I would say he knows you better than anyone also,
Yeah.
So we had him do like a little spiel about us. He did it so perfectly too. Like he walked everyone kind of through our timeline and like set the tone. And then we each did our own vows and I mean there was some stuff in between. We had my grandfather and my dad speak and I think it was just the perfect amount of like different enough by like having all those pieces.
Yeah, I think the personal touches really added something, like having your dad and your grandfather read something, and then obviously having Luke do his thing. It just kind of made it more personal than just having some, random person come do your ceremony. Because, like you said, obviously he knows us better than anyone, and it just added something to it.
I think so. And I agree with the vows part. It's like one of those things that we now have, like those words we can always look back on. Like, I'm sure we're going to have tough times, obviously. And I think being able to just look back on those vows, like, I don't know, like one of those days when I'm like, I literally cannot stand you right now.
Like when we're trying to carry our dining room table down to the basement.
I don't know. It's 8 o'clock at night. Why do we have to remove our dining room? Parker had a Red Bull today, guys. He came home just freaking off the walls, trying to just change the entire house. I'm like, dude, you gotta relax. So yeah, today I might have to go and watch our vows again because not really a fan today. Just kidding. You did so good. Parker tried to tell me when we were talking about vows, he's like, it's nothing that's gonna knock your socks off. Like, don't get your hopes up. So like I'm like, okay, I'm sure it's gonna be like, I love you so much. You are the best. You killed it.
It's just not something I do. It's not something I like doing. So I was just nervous about it, and I just
Killed it.
didn't want high expectations.
No, killed it. I cried like a baby. But yeah, ceremony I would do a million times over. It was worth every penny. We did photos like we said. We made that photo list. It was boom, 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 boom. What's the word? Ran a tight ship, and then we were in. And sweetheart table, you recommend?
I definitely think it's worth it. I didn't want to at first because I didn't want to miss out on all the fun with our friends and stuff.
Offensive.
But it's really the only time through the whole day, literally from morning until time to go to bed, that you get to just be by yourselves and actually like have a conversation about stuff.
It was so cute, I thought. Like we got to just like I feel like we just looked at each other and we're like, how was your day? Like I haven't even talked to you today.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah. I thought so too. It was really nice. And we were able to eat. Like we didn't have a problem with that really. We just didn't even really want to. Like we wanted to like have fun. We also did we didn't mention this, we entered our bridal party. So we had the idea to introduce our own bridal party. So we were going to like like the normal DJ says like here's your bridal party and then the bride and groom come out. So instead we had them announce our parents, the DJ announce our parents because we knew they'd want to watch us come in. And then after that, the DJ announced us. We came in and then we grabbed the mic. We said a quick little thank you to everyone for coming, like thank you to our parents, yada, yada. And then we entered our bridal party. And I felt like I'm so glad we did that. It was like a really cool thing just to, I don't know, it like really got the party, got the energy up like way more than I think a DJ would have. Because with a DJ, it's kind of like, cool.
And it kind of goes with the whole theme of what we've talked about so far. And the theme of the whole wedding is just, it was more personal. And
yeah,
I think it meant a little bit more than just some random DJ announcing them.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it was cool to say like we had our hour because, we're a family. Whoa, I just stuttered. Family now. I'm just kidding. Cousin, the little boys that were in our wedding. We got to like intro them and we were like, round of applause for the best dressed in the house. Like it was just like funny stuff like that. And yeah, I love that. But yeah, okay. So then we had the sweetheart table and then we did end up, like I know people say like you don't have to go talk to everyone at your wedding, like just enjoy yourselves and stuff. But we did make it a point to go see everyone and I'm so glad we did. It didn't take that much time. And
no, it took us like 10 minutes and To be honest, after dinner, when everybody starts dancing, the rest of the night is just a blur, and like it goes by so fast that I thought it was good that we took the 10 minutes to just go say hi to everybody and thank them for coming. And
Yeah, and I feel like the people we had at our wedding, it's not like we had an insane amount of like extended family. Like it was literally like, or extended friends. Like it was literally like people that are in our lives regularly that we want to spend time with. So it was certainly wasn't like a, I don't know. I think people talk about it like it's a burden at times to like go say hi to everyone, but that was definitely not the case for us. We were like really wanted to see those people and like tell them how much it meant to us that they came. And we got photos with people. That's like the only real times that we had like cell phone photos with people. So that was good. We then went outside and took a quick like sunset photos. The photographer grabbed us, which I liked too. Like that split up our night so it wasn't just like we were missing an hour and a half of our wedding. It just was like we're going to sneak away for like 20 minutes, go take some photos. It also helped slow us down, I feel like, getting us back into the like swing of things. So I think that was good. Then we got some photos with like friends and stuff in just a different location. And pretty much after that, it was game on. We cut the cake and Liz did a speech, which Liz's speech was really good.
yeah, it was great. On the cake cutting aspect, we weren't planning on doing one, but then last minute we kind of just decided to do one.
Well, my mom surprised us with a cake.
Yeah.
And our friend who was in the wedding, Ty, he's like a little secret cake decorator, and he decorated it for my mom.
And if there are any guys listening out there, even if your lady tells you not to shove it in her face, I think you have to shove it in her face.
Did you shove it in my face?
No, and it was awkward.
No, don't
yes,
shove it. I'm dead
yes.
serious. Do not.
I think you have to.
No, because
yeah.
you'll really mess up the makeup, and I
No.
would have been mad. So we did that cake cutting, and then from that point on, from 6:30 maybe 6:30 to 10, like we did not have a group that had a hard time getting people on the dance floor. Like our DJ was like, I'm just trying to get people on the dance floor, and I'm like, no, like keep them off. Like we don't need your help. Like they'll be on there to freaking, I don't even know, Blues Clues intro music. It's not an issue. I do have one regret. I wish I would have had 2 less margaritas because the night is already so blurry and hectic that really could have done without 2. Maybe things would have been a little more clear. Do you have any?
Some of us behaved ourselves.
Okay. You were the one shoving them down my throat. The other thing I would say is definitely get a second dress. 150 million trillion % get a second dress. Even if you don't wear it, it was the best decision I ever made. So smart. Did you like my second dress?
I did.
Yeah?
Except I didn't remember it when I took it out of the dryer today.
Took it out of the dryer. You did not dry it. The wash. And he was like, what is this? I'm like, that's legit my wedding dress. Thanks. I wore that more than the wedding dress. What about the boots?
I thought it was white. The boots were great.
Did you like them?
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad. Not the price tag, though.
We don't need to talk about that.
I whispered it to him on the dance floor. I think there's a video of it. Overall, what are your feelings on the event?
I think it was honestly perfect. I was a little nervous just because we were so carefree for the whole planning process that I was a little nervous about how it would turn out. Me specifically.
Yeah, Parker goes literally a week before the wedding. He asked me, hey, do we have decorations for the wedding? I was so mad. And then he kept saying like, Ashley, you don't know how stressful it is for me. I don't know anything about my own wedding because I haven't done anything. So it's so stressful. I just have to like trust. I'm like, can you imagine how stressful it is for me who has to do everything?
Anyway.
Okay.
So we were so carefree through the whole planning process that I was a little bit nervous about how smooth it would go and if there'd be any hiccups. But it honestly like went super smooth. There wasn't really any hiccups and it went pretty perfect, to be honest.
I say don't overthink it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what, like, I overthought it in the sense of, like I said, the personal details and stuff, but that's just because, like, I enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
But
we were stressing out about not having enough time to do stuff. And then every night for the last 2 weeks, you were just like, oh, I had this idea today. We should do this too. And I'm like, well, how about the other 50 things we have to do?
Yeah. I would definitely, we haven't got them developed yet, but we had film cameras, which I so recommend. Like, it's a necessity. You need them there. Thrilled about that.
My biggest advice would just be to slow down.
Yeah.
And try to take it in more because it goes by so fast and it's all just a blur.
And then you wake up and you're like, did we get married? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Parker, any Any exciting thoughts for the future?
Uh,
You want to hang up?
yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, thanks for marrying me.
You're welcome.
Okay. I had fun. All right. He wants to leave now, so I'm going to let you go. Okay. Any words about our sponsor, Yasso?
I wish we had done that for our dessert table. Tammy's whoopie pies were great, but
She didn't make them, you
yeah,
know.
whoever's whoopie pies were great, but Yasa would have been even better.
Can you tell them how passionate I am about Yasso?
She had a couple boxes in the freezer,
Oh my God. Don't.
and I left the freezer door open a little bit on accident, so everything in the freezer melted.
4
So,
boxes of Yasso.
so they were obviously junk, and that was like a week before the wedding, and I'm not joking. I thought that maybe we might have to cancel the wedding.
I was understanding about it. Like I was like, accidents happen. I didn't freak out at you, but he just knew like how passionate I was that he was like, you were, you had the fear of God just on your own terms. I didn't put it in you.
There was, $100 worth of food in that freezer, and all she cared about was the couple boxes of Yasso in there.
I told them about the time I made you go to 3 different grocery stores.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Thanks for being a trooper. All right, guys, we are off. But hey, Parker, that was a good one.
Let's go get a Yasso.
No, go get married. I am going to get a Yasso though. You back off. Mwah. All right, guys, that was a good one from the Aslands.